Moray Callum, Design Director, North America Cars.
Very good. How you doing, Moray?
Doing very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing just fine, thanks. So we're sitting here, and in back of you is a kiwi green Ford Escape hybrid.
Yes.
How does Ford decide on which colors they're going to use on cars?
Well, I think there's usually a set of colours that we're always going to use in terms of, there's always silver, black, white, and these are the most common colours, and a grey of some kind. But I think the other colours with maybe more hue to them, more character to them, a lot of that comes from the fashion industry, and generally there's trends that most people follow, either through fashion, furniture, other areas like that.
And do you have any consumer groups that you actually put together, and ages, cars, that type of thing?
We do research on colours, but it's mainly to do with how different colours apply to different types of vehicles.
And are they done through consumer groups, or like you have different consumer groups that you might have that are under 35 years old?
Well, yes, we tend to try and align them to where we think the customer for the specific vehicle is. It's more vehicle specific. When we're developing that vehicle, that's when we'll do more research on the colour.
So maybe they have to own a certain type of car before
or at least be in the market for a certain type of car, yes.
And are you surprised at all that grey, white and black are
well,
colors?
You've asked most designers what colour car they drive. It's usually grey, black, or white. So I'm not surprised actually. But I think it is. It's still a safe colour, because I think people are slightly worried about some colours in terms of resale value, etc. But I think other people are wanting to be a little bit more extravagant, a little bit more courageous with their colours.
And on the colours, what is the wackiest colour that you've seen on one of your cars?
Well, I don't know if you were at the Beijing show a couple of years ago. There was actually a car covered in fur, and I think that's probably the wackiest colour. It was a fur-covered car was probably the wackiest, yes.
That would be the
But it was still a colour.
On new cars that are coming out, what are you guys planning for the future?
Well, I think the interesting thing about colours, even the ones that you would think are quite conservative, I think what we're looking for is that sort of second read of the colour. And you look at a car from a distance, you think, oh, that's a whitish or a grey or something. But it's as you walk towards it, there's a lot more depth to the colour, and sometimes a secondary colour read that you'll get to it. It's really giving that value to the colour that people will appreciate as you get closer to the vehicle.
You used to work with Mazda.
Yeah.
And now you're with Ford. Do you see a difference in the way that colours are presented?
No, I think it's actually quite similar. I think Mazda probably aimed more towards what we call the zoom colours, as you know, and I think Ford is being more courageous with the colours now and being a little bit more expressive. But I think actually the customer base is still looking for something that's maybe not as young and energetic as Mazda.
And on the cars going forward, what are the designs now that you're the designer for Ford? What are you going to be paying the most attention to?
Well, I think it's what colours are suitable for the sculpture of the car we're working on, and I think we're trying to make our vehicles a little bit more expressive, and I think that the colour has to raise with that value of expressiveness in the sculpture of the cars.
It's 2007 now.
It's 2007 now, yes.
How long before we see a design of yours in Ford?
It'll be a couple of years. I mean, I've been able to get involved in a couple of things that are halfway through, but really something all new is going to be a couple of years before you see.
Even the couple of things that are kind of that you've been able to touch.
Yeah.
What are those?
I can't tell you that.
Oh, Moray.
Whatever cars you think Ford's going to bring out in the next 2 years.
Are you going to do any redesign on the Ford now Taurus that used to be the Ford 500?
Well, obviously all our vehicles have a cadence of some kind, and then there'll be a new Taurus coming out post this one. Can't tell you when.
So, all designers seem to collect something. What do you collect?
Well, someone actually accused me of collecting cars, but I don't actually collect cars. I'm just not very good at selling them, I found. So I have a few cars at home.
Any watches?
I have a few watches, and you'll notice I'm not even wearing one today because I bought one in Chicago the other day, and I can't work out how to read it. But I don't go for the expensive ones, just the interesting ones.
And the cars that you collect, are they older cars?
Yeah, most of them are older cars. Yeah.
Are they a certain type, a certain age?
No, I think most of us, when we get to an age, or when we get to a place where we can start buying cars, we buy the cars we wanted when we were a kid, or when we were growing up. So I've got a 60s E-Type and I've got a 60s Lincoln. So it's all these cars that I think you aspire to when you couldn't really afford them, or you really dreamed of.
Do you think those will actually come into some of the decisions that you make here at Ford?
Not directly, but I think there's a lot of aspiration about older vehicles that people would like to see in new vehicles as well. And I think it is there really, but I think it needs to be brought out a little bit more.
Moray, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.